Okay, I was off by like an extra second. Anyways, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is another edition of the Breaker Debates, episode 56, I believe. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the future of the Predator franchise. Now, with me again, we have Ken. Ken is on the scene, ready and willing to jump on this subject, and I'm going to let him go ahead and take off.
We always love the Predator movies. Well, actually, you want to go with the Predator franchise and then next hour hit into the future of the movies, or what?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that, or we can do the future of it now and then go into the other movies on the next one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, let's hit the past and then go to the future.
All right.
Yeah, that would be cool, because that way somebody who's never seen the Predator movies and we spoil it for them, they can then enjoy the movies and then go, oh, that sounds great. Let me go see the next movie. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Let's go back to Wayback Machine 1987. Our first movie, Predator, comes out. We have, of course, our world famous, who is it? Major Alan Dutch Schaefer. Huh? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes. Actually, we had a lot of good people in that movie, though. We had Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah, we had, Carl Weathers. All kind of stuff. But basically, we have the premise of a special forces team in South America trying to get somebody, and turns out there's something actually not of this world hunting them. And we get a lot of really cool scenarios. We don't even see the Predator. In fact, probably for like 75% of the movie, you just kind of see a inkling of the Predator. And if you don't know what a Predator is, people, Predator is exactly what it sounds like. In our case, it's an extraterrestrial critter hunter who has shown up, and they tend to show up in areas of great conflict. They've been around for a long time, as we'll go through the movies in our we have about 5 movies to go through. Actually, I think it's 4 now, with a soon to be 5th movie, which we'll hint on next hour, which I think has gone into some problems. Dun dun dun.
Which we will not be talking about AVP.
What? Come on.
We're going to make that we're going to come back to that in another video where we can talk about all AVP, but we're just going to specifically talk about Predators.
Man, you can't really, but see, you have to remember in our Predator 2, I believe, is a completely different scenario. But Predator 1 is South America, lots of things going on. Lots of conflict. We find out, this alien creature is there, and he pretty much just ruins the day, kills everybody off in brutal, horish ways. It's pretty awesome, though. If you want some good, scary suspense movie, I mean, it's not like a scary movie, but it's like a very suspenseful movie, because you don't know what's going on. You know there's something there, but you can't see it. And you're not really sure what you're looking at. And then next thing you know, people are like zipping, disappearing, and getting all kind of crazy stuff going on. And then finally, you see what's coming out of the woodwork, and it is freaking cool. But see, that this is only the introduction. This is only the beginning. We're only talking about a movie in 87. 3 years later, we come back with Predator. This time we got a little bit different crowd. We're in the city now. We got was it Danny Glover, Gary Busey, Bill Paxton, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. Robert DeVay. A lot of other folks, but kind of heavy hitters here. Gary Busey's a freaking nut job in this movie. He's crazy in everything. Literally, the guy's crazy in everything. But the beginning of the movie is what's really cool, because you got kind of like a scene of a really cool-looking penthouse suite. It's like drug lords are going on, the Colombians are going on, all kind of crazy stuff. And then, boom, they get hit. These guys are getting taken out left and right. They have no idea what is ripping them apart, and it is crazy, wild madness going on. And
I wanted to ask you about that too. Now, I know the first movie was more subtle about the appearance of the Predator, because that's the first time we've ever going to see it. But do you think that jumping into the action as fast as they did in the sequel and presenting him like right off the bat, you think that was a good choice, or do you think they probably should have tried to be subtle?
Well,
with it like they did with the first one?
The first one, again, it was the first one, and they wanted to build up the suspense for the character of the Predator. But now we know what the Predator is, and we know it's in the jungle, but see, you don't really expect to see it in the city. Why would it be in a city? What's going on there? Why would this thing be there? You know, that's kind of one of the things that's going on. And you barely, I mean, you only see it for just a brief second too. I mean, it's just like zip and zip, he's gone, you know, when the guy gets freaking taken out. But it's also, again, we're back in the city. What drove a predator to show up in the city? And of course, now we're also tying the storyline of our special agent, you know, basically Danny Glover showing up and what the hell happened? You know, and there's guys like strung up everywhere. They've been skinned alive. I mean, just kind of crazy. And they're like, oh man, you know, those Jamaican drug lords went crazy on these guys.
Yeah.
Sliced and diced them everywhere. And they're just trying to figure out what is going on. And I think if I remember right, he finds, I think actually the last guy died with a spear. And
yeah,
they find a piece of the tip or something in the big stone pillars.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they have no idea what this thing is. They have it checked out, and it doesn't, I mean, it's like, what the heck is this? So you kind of get that, something's going on, but the characters don't know it yet. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we get a lot of, it's kind of neat. We get a little bit of the drug lords going at each other. We got the predator messing with the drug lords, which they seem to show up when conflict. Yes. Usually some kind of crazed madness or conflict.
And they tend to challenge what they consider will be the alpha males or the aggressive.
Exactly.
The aggressive ones.
Yeah, they're a hunting dominant honor society, basically, of intergalactic hunters. As we go through, I mean, and the movies only give you a small inkling. A lot of this stuff you have to kind of go and read because they've had a bunch of comic sources like Dark Horse. I think it's Dark Horse Comics. Yeah,
Dark Horse.
Did a bunch of Predator. In fact, oddly, we were talking Predator today, and I just read about I was trying to think of her name. She was the first and only human predator, basically.
Noguchi or Maguchi or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it tells her whole story. In fact, there's actually a YouTube video that really explains a lot about it.
About I think I have a book on it, which I need to finish reading.
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of extra storylines and stuff that go into the worlds because what's interesting is you have what seems to be savage hunters, but I mean, they got technology. They have cloaking. They have massive weapons of destruction, bladed weapons at their hands, these shooting nets, the targeting laser cannons, the masks. You know, these guys are not primitive by any means. They're very advanced, and they are pretty badass, and they don't care.
They don't play either.
Yeah, there's no joking around with these guys. You know, there is an honor about them, and in one of the other movies we won't talk about today, you know, you kind of get the sense of honor.
Yeah.
And so this carries on. And then in this movie, you actually kind of see that very beginning of that in that storyline. Mm-hmm. Because as we go through the movie and we progress through this storyline, the Predator and our detective all seem to kind of cross paths. But what we don't know is in the background, you know, humanity's kind of aware of something going on now. And it's not really humanity, it's more of the government, like a special operations group.
Yeah.
Has been following and tracking this predator and trying to get a hold of him. And, you know, as we go through the storyline, you have this predator doing its thing. You got the drug lords doing their thing. You got the cops chasing what they think is a rival gang. And it turns out it's not. Yeah. It's actually one of these, just one predator. He's taking out all these people left and right. And
I do like that setup. I will admit to that. I do like how they set that up to where we know who it is. How are they going to figure out who it is?
Exactly. How's this mystery evolve? And that's what we watch as this show goes on, or this movie continues on. We learn that the government is aware of these predators. They know that they've been around for a while. They just don't know how long. You know, these predators are basically hunters. That's what they do. They done. And it's kind of weird though how they kind of intertwine with this whole detective thing going on, how this predator ends up being involved, because Danny Glover basically chases the sucker down. I mean, he's hunting him down. The predator's running and actually ends up getting injured, and Glover ends up basically kind of seeing it for the first time in a chase scene, and he ends up, if I remember right, cuts his hand off.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he cuts his hand off with that bladed weapon.
Which is pretty cool.
That thing was badass, too.
Yeah.
That thing was cool. Because in our scene, you know, we have the government trying to catch this predator, and everybody ends up all at the same place at the same time, and all hell breaks loose. These government guys are trying to, cryogenically freeze the predator. You got the detective who's chasing the predator. The predator's like, well, these guys are messing with me. I'm gonna take them all out too.
You know what? This is one scene I wish they would have added to the movie. And I know when I say this, people be like, okay, you're just copying out Terminator 9, but I think it would have been a cool sequence. What if the predator would have attacked the police station?
Oh, but see, why would he attack the police station now?
But think about it; it'd be the same thing like the drug lords. How he would actually,
because they were fighting in a conflict, and he was just trying to take out, the head honchos.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. If you like Danny Glover, his base of operations is basically a police station, but the predator is smart enough to know that all of them, they're police. Not that they're policemen, but they of that same caliber, maybe not to the extent he is, or even generally just going there to get him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like that.
Well, that's kind of what happened. Well, not really what happened in Predator 1, though.
Yeah.
Except you had a special forces team that was getting dropped left and right by something they did not know and didn't even realize was up in the trees and stuff. It was dropping them left and right. So it's kind of crazy. But that would have been interesting, though.
Yeah, that would have been.
I mean, we do get something like that, but we get it with the government guys in the meat locker.
Yeah.
We at the meat at the slaughterhouse. So,
woo, BO at barbecue.
What?
I had to thought that Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Game over, man.
Yeah, and then
it was over quick.
Yeah, there's a third installment where the special soldier type class people, mercenaries, soldiers, cartels, been abducted, and they're put on this unknown planet to be hunted by the predators.
Predator buddies.
Yes, and in this, there's different types of predators. I guess there's the regular predators and the super predators.
Well, it's like some clan differences, if I remember describing them. Let's see, blah 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 blah.
And the one thing about that movie, though, I wish they could have. With that movie, I wish they had been a little bit more subtle about the predators. And plus, I would have liked to see more alien creatures that they abducted.
Yeah, it's a hunting world. What's going on? Is it just only humans?
Because you only see one creature. That's it.
It's like I don't know, what was that thing?
It looked like Groot. It looked like Groot was attacking this guy.
I'm Groot.
But yeah, I mean, I would have liked to seen. It should have been when it came to that, because it was a game planet. It should have been more aliens. Yeah, that's why I say it should have been more
diversity. I mean, I guess we get a couple different clans. We get, several different. It's not just all the people there are not like, like just Joe Schmuck off the street. I mean, there was some. I want to know is how they were selected. That would have been something interesting.
I want to say I think it was more random.
Well, they were all killers.
Yeah,
every one of them. You had special operations with the mercenary. You had another special forces, a Yakuza guy, a guy on death row.
I want to know how they got that guy on death row. That's what I wanted. Did they go in his like jail cell or something to get him out?
Yeah, Mexican drug cartel enforcer, a Spetsnaz soldier, Russian special forces, Israeli special forces, revolutionary officer, a death row person. That's one again. How they pull that off, and a Yakuza person and a doctor.
And the Yakuza guy was actually
such a variety of people, variety of skills, variety of specialties. And boom, we drop your ass on the planet and go. I don't know.
Basically what it is. And like I said, that if there was one thing about that movie that I wish they could have did better, possibly taking out Lawrence Fishburne part. I like the guy and I like that storyline, but it should have been more before the predators even showed up, it should have been the people banded together against these other creatures. Then the predators show up.
Yeah, you know, we don't even know what's going on. We're just here, and all of a sudden, these things are starting to attack us. You know, and then later on, you know, somebody gets zapped or taken out, and you're like, "What the heck?" You know, they could have. I don't know. I mean, it was cool, and I liked that they had a lot of different people, but you know, it just kind of makes me wonder. You know, what more could we have had? You know, maybe seeing more of the Predator camp and what they were doing, or more of the world exploration and find out, you know, maybe it wasn't just that, maybe it wasn't always a jungle environment. Maybe there was other different environments on that planet. Else, you know, maybe they could have found, and it would have been really trippy is if they had a cityscape on there or something, you know, kind of like we had in episode 2 or Predator 2. You know, learning to hunt on Earth is like a hunting Earth planet simulator kind of thing. You know, for the trainees.
I wanted to see. I don't even want to see it as a hunting thing at this point. I wanted to see like a straight up, and maybe it's me asking too much. I wanted to see straight up war between the human, not a like war. I wanted to see these predators actually fought against somebody that would fight back. And and I know, and that's why I said I wish they would have, with the characters, they should have been put in a position where they will work together a bit more. Because like right after, you know what I'm saying, the predators and stuff showed up like quick. It's like they didn't have time.
Yeah, they should have let them like establish themselves a little bit better and, you know, fortify themselves a little bit better, and then like, okay, now let's go take care of business.
Just like in the first Predator movie, and I'll give this movie its credit. When it came to the characters, the characters were established. They all had their own moments. They all had their own personalities. How they had their interpersonal relationships between the other ones, like that worked. The second movie, I wish they would have fleshed it out a little bit more. But in this one, like it feels like they're going for it, but then things just happen too fast. As far as the characters are concerned,
I think they
were cool characters.
I don't even think they were characters. They just mixed all these people up, threw them together, threw them on a planet, and then wanted to go head to head with 6 predators. You know, that's pretty much. Everybody just wanted to see it. Oops! I guess my dog.
Because think about it. What happened? Danny Trejo, because he always dies in movies that he's in. Well, he died like what, 20 minutes into the movie?
Oh, he didn't last.
Maybe not even 20.
I think he got his head ripped off, if I remember right.
I don't know what happened to him. All I say, he was just messed up.
Well, the funny thing is, the guy who did the movie is Robert Rodriguez, and he's mostly known for a lot of those quick action movies and styles. I forgot the actual term of the movies, but you know, they have all this stuff that's going on, and they have things that like quick slaughter, quick action. You know, there's not a whole lot of story to it, and you know, I think that was just a style of movie.
I want to ask you this. I know. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, knock yourself out. Let's go.
I was going to ask you. Now I know people are paying the second movie because of how different it was from the first one. How Arnold wasn't the main cast, which I'm grateful for because. This conflict is too big to be constantly being harped on one character. But
you can't dump something like this.
But do you think that part 3 felt too much of a carbon copy from the first movie?
Yes. I would almost, in fact, the first movie was a group of people that came in under circumstances and got taken out. The second movie, the people came to the predator, and then the third movie is it kind of mixed them both together. You brought the people in, the predators in, and let them go at it. And although they were still in a jungle environment and everything like that, you know, there was intention in this one. The first one, it was just coincidental. I think a lot of it was coincidental. Yeah. They just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, in the first one, the Special Forces unit was there to go get a drug cartel leader. The first team didn't report back in. They sent the second team in to get him. They ended up right in the middle of a predator hunting zone and just became the next prey. And the prey fought them, you know, because they were better than the first group. They were better than the cartel guys. The second one, we get a predator in there who's in a territorial dispute again, you know, doing his thing. And now he gets somebody to challenge him, something that's after him. You know, he's getting a challenge. So there's a fight in there, but it wasn't planned. And then our third movie is the predators are intentionally hunting somebody. They go and grab them. They bring them in there, and they go after them. You know, it was a planned thing. The first two were completely coincidental, just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to force the hand of a story. Again, though, I think Robert Rodriguez's directing was the key to that movie. Was let's get a good action film. We want to see some, you know, predator action. We want to see them fighting. We want to see, you know, butt kicking and carnage. And basically, that's what. And
I think as much, I do think as much as it did have action, and I think they should have kind of took a step back on it and kind of built up to it first.
It would have been a better movie. It wouldn't have been as action oriented at that point, or not as much in the movie, I think, because you would have been more developing your characters and your storyline a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then you would have big bursts of action. You may have had, you know, 2 or 3 big bursts of action, or one or two little bursts and one big one at the end. Which, you know, this movie had a little bit all throughout it in the different areas that each 1 or 2 characters dying always had something going on.
Yeah.
So, of course, they had their own storyline too, because that serial killer guy or the doctor was actually a serial killer.
I mean, it was a twist, but it wasn't really much a story. The only person that really said anything about having any kind of background was the big Russian guy who said he had 2 kids.
And it's just that's it. I mean, I think it was just more made through carnage and destruction.
And that's another reason I said, as interesting as the Lawrence Fishburne part was in the movie, they should have taken that part out and made that like a separate movie. And then just straight up focus just on these characters and show them how like humans could actually, you know what I'm saying? Humans that know that there are predators, show how humans could be just as much of a threat to the predators, you know, as the predators are to them.
Yeah, put something back in there.
I do feel like that, yeah. And that's why I felt like, because it felt like the first movie. The first movie was basically one big chase. And he was taking them out as they were running. And then this movie was kind of the same way. Because think about it, this movie had a lot of throwbacks to the first one. There was the guy with the machine gun. What was the one part they all fell down a hill and into the water. They had the big shootout, but didn't hit nothing.
Yep. Wasted all that whole spot of jungle with nothing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, there are certain the whole idea behind it was great. I give it that it was a great idea. I just think it's not a standout movie. It didn't stand out as it could have been the best actually.
It could have,
should have been working more on the
story. Ring a bell with me. My attention was lost.
Yeah. It's like they wanted the action too fast. If they would have built up the movie about halfway, and then like the last half of the movie just straight up action, it would work better because it'd been on a stable ground.
Yeah,
you found out what, and then if you think about it too, these guys were all like completely, you know, badass or whatever. But
they were supposed to be top notch. I mean, you had all these different characters, all with specialties. You know, they're all supposed to be badass, but you know, one by one, they all fall.
Yeah, and it's not like they were like, it's not like you actually saw them utilize like interesting tactics or anything like that. That was one of the things that
didn't work together.
Yeah,
if they'd worked together, they probably would have pulled it off.
Yeah,
but they were all, you know, everybody had their own agenda, and you know, of course, the weird psycho doctor guy, but.
Which was a great twist. I'll give it to him. That was a pretty good twist.
I didn't see that coming, but you know, why would you? You're stuck on a planet. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I never understood that reasoning either.
get off the planet, then do something. Don't wait till you're on a planet. Well, I'm such a bad guy, I have to do it, even though I'm being chased by 6 other predators. Come on, dude, get with the program.
Yeah,
just wasn't. Then it has its moments, but it doesn't make the score to me.
Yeah. So if you were rank these 3 movies, because we still got a lot to talk about. But if you could rank these 3 movies, how would you rank them? I guess worst to best, or not worst to best.
I would actually go with them in reverse order. Predators of 2010 would be like the suck movie, and Alien, or excuse me, boy, that was last week's story, wasn't it? I like them. I like them in the order that they were: Predator 1, Predator 2, Predator 3, or Predators. Let me rephrase that.
I gotta go ahead. I'm sorry.
I liked two. I think was a little more. One's catch was you didn't know what it was until the very end. 2, you knew what it was, but you didn't understand the whole big picture of what was going on. And until the very end, and even at the very end, it was more of the, you find out a little bit more of the honor system. They didn't kill the girl because she was pregnant. He could have, he didn't. He spared her life. You find out that, Glover has been chasing him the whole movie. The creature likes to chase. He's been after him. They've been pitting each other the whole movie.
That's one thing I did like about it. It was cat and mouse.
Yeah, and it was back and forth through the whole movie. And even when the government showed up and it took out all the government guys, Danny's still chasing the thing and still going after him. And we end up down in the basement or a sub-basement of a building, and we find out, well, hell, there's a whole ship sitting down here. What the heck? This predator brought a whole ship.
I think I want to summarize the movies like this. I'm going off piggybacking on what you said. The first movie is the characters don't know what it is. That's a great storyline for the first movie. The second movie, the characters don't know what it is, but we know what it is.
Exactly.
And they have to learn what it is. And then I think the third movie should have been like this. And to some extent, they did do this. At first, they don't know what it is. They find out what it is. And then it should have been they dealt with it, which is why I'm gonna go ahead and bring it back to what I said about Lawrence Fishburne part. His character probably should have been introduced earlier on in the movie. Him actually having firsthand experience with these things should have gave them an advantage on how to fight them.
Exactly. He should have seen the ship or whatever dropping them off. And waited and then approached him and say, "Hey, come with me. Come with me if you want to live." But you didn't. He come up later. Why'd they wait so long? And again, unorganization. They all die, pretty much. This is actually.
But that's how the role should have went for that character because him. I can understand him being like this guy that's been stuck there for a long time and trying to kill him, but it seemed like the story would have been a better story had he been like, okay, look, I have been here a long time. I observed how they track their prey and all of this stuff. I can help you kill them, and we can get out of here.
Yeah, together we can make this work. But you have to work.
And it would have been, yes. And I think that would have been a better storyline. And as far as ranking, I gotta say I like the second one better. I like the second one than the first one, and this is very close. It's very close. Well, in fact, I would even go as to say, I would say I'd have them even, but I like the second one more, and I like the first one, and then I like the third one.
Yeah,
and the only reason I like the first one so much, and the thing, I think the reason why I like the second one so much is Harrigan, that character Harrigan, he isn't specially trained Marine or something like that. He was like, they were normal people having to deal with this extraordinary situation.
Yeah,
I mean, they were cops and stuff, but they were basically normal people. Whereas in the other movies, they're like special ops guys.
I'm a normal beat cop, detective. and boom, I'm right in the middle of what appears to be a drug war, cartel war, and rolling into unknown circumstances. And turns out it's a one alien army wiping them both out.
But like I said before, the first movie did a great job with the characters. The second movie, I will admit, I wish they would have done more with fleshing out the characters more. What did they do outside of the job and stuff like that? Who are their families? Like, I would have liked a lot more.
Would that have changed anything of the story, though? If you knew more about the detective and his associates outside of work, would that have made the movie? Would that have given any plus to the movie?
I think it would have, because as far as like with the characters, like Jerry, what was his friend? The first guy that died, the one that found the spear.
Hang on, let's see here. Jerry Lambert,
one of my favorite movies. No, not Jerry, the other guy. Danny.
Peter Keys.
Yeah. No, it was Danny, because he kept calling him Danny Boy. Like with his character, like when he died off.
Okay.
Yeah, like when he died off, it felt like he didn't bring anything to the movie. And like when Jerry died, of course, it's like, okay, he was helping to stalk this thing and all. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody else. It's like the characters didn't have enough to contribute to the story. Like, basically, like, okay, say the Predator had been there a while, taking people out. They, as detectives, would try to figure out, like, if there's a certain pattern or something, right?
Yeah, forensically analyzing what's going on.
Like, we didn't get that scene. We didn't really get that. Like, I would love to, that's why I said I would have loved to, with the characters actually been fleshed out a little bit more. And plus, it would have kind of made a lot of this, like, those scenes a bit more impactful. Like, say, what if Danny Boy had a family and, you know, he died? Think of the emotional weight that could put on the character of Harrigan, because now he feels even more inclined for revenge, because not only did he lose his partner, his family lost their father. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can work with that.
Yeah, put like an extra maybe 20 minutes into the movie just to flesh them out a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because
I can see it your way, and I kind of see it like, I feel like the other people would be like, you know, why do we need to know more about them? Because really, most of the action focused on the original, well, the three, the two detectives and the police officer. Well, he was a detective anyway. They were all detectives. Yeah. You know, and keeping up on them. I just, I don't know. I mean, if there was some maybe like Danny Glover had, you know, some family issues at home or overprotective, something going on, you know, that gives him a little more depth of his character would have been interesting.
Yeah, that's right. That's another thing.
I mean, he was kind of more driven. His character was more driven by what happened to Danny, trying to figure out, you know, who killed his, you know, this guy who killed his partner, basically. Mm-hmm. And then so that's what was his driving force. And if in this case, maybe if he had a family or something, you know, I don't know, and maybe maybe he was single, but was real good friends with Danny and knew the family and was even more driven because of the family issue. You know, going after that, because a lot of, I mean, from that force, it's just him driving to find his friend's killer, you know, unknowingly that it's an alien from another world. But, and of course, the alien, you know, comes in there and takes out, you know, like the drug, the voodoo or drug king, King Willie, takes him out. And then he's now pretty much onto Harrigan now as the, you know, his new prize. You know, this character is chasing me, and now I got to get rid of him, and he's challenging me.
and think about this too. The Predator is pretty smart. What if it came to a point where it's like, okay, he threatens the family to make sure, you know, Harrigan comes after him.
Yeah, you know, kidnap
He
the
ain't gonna
family and use them as
necessarily
bait.
kill him. He ain't gonna kill him, but he's gonna goad him with the family. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Or leave a mark on the door or a claw on the door or something.
Yeah.
But again, he
In
doesn't know
fact,
what he's chasing, though. So it would have to have been something that would have been taken as like from one of the groups. You know, either
and
the Voodoos or the Jamaicans or the Voodoo clan there.
and I'm going to say, I know this scene is symbolic. The scene where he's in the graveyard and then the predator just hangs Danny's necklace up, and it shows you that the predator it shows his character that whoever it is that's after him is watching him like at all times. But
spook on him.
But think about it. How much more impactful would that have been if he went home and seen Danny's necklace hanging up on the door?
Well, see, he would have been at home and knowing that somebody could get to him, but he was just in some random place.
Yeah.
Knowing that somebody could get to him. And then he said, I'm trying to remember what he said, though. It was like a recording, and it played back, and there was nobody there but the necklace. You know, that was creepy. And, you know, and an alien or a predator is not a small creature by any means. You know, they're 7 and 8 foot tall, several hundred pounds, and they move gracefully.
Yes,
very gracefully. I'm sure they're used to a more lower gravity anyway. Excuse me. Oh, had that sore throat. Working on some mints.
I'm trying to look up what the thing's name is. It's because the thing isn't named Predator. It's Zank something, like what the actual name for the species is. It starts with an X. I know I read up on it.
I don't see. Darn internet. Why not?
But that's why I say, you know, at least the first one, when it comes to suspense, the first one did a great job of it. I like part two. I like part two because part two made it kind of horror themed.
It was like a mystery, though. I mean, it was like, I know that there's a predator there, but the characters have no idea. Nobody knows. It's a one-man killing machine, and it's out there killing all these drug lords and stuff in a combative way, badly, brutally skinning them. I mean, literally skinning them. And nobody's, you know, the government has kind of an idea, but they've been keeping out of the picture because you don't even know they're involved until they bag Harrigan later on when he's trying to get to the warehouse, the meat locker place. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but I also like the fact that in the second one they kind of show you a little more in depth of the predator. You know, they have an honor. You know, he didn't kill the pregnant lady.
Yeah, he didn't kill the people on the train, like most of the people on the train either.
You know, and it worked through this whole scenario. And at the end, when Harrigan and it are fighting together, and he wins, you're like, oh right, he beat him, and all of a sudden, he gets lit up like a Christmas tree. You see all the other predators that are with him. It's not just him. It's 5 or 6 other predators at a hunting party. So what were the other ones doing this whole time?
Yeah. Oh, I found the name. It's Yautja. Yachja. Yaha.
We'll go with that. Yachja.
Oh, they got another one. It's Hish Q10.
Wow. I love these guys and their names. Because I know actually in one of the other movies they named them by the masks.
One was called Scar.
Yeah. That's original. I bet they have lots of scars. But, at the end, though, the one thing that everybody freaked out, which was cool, is, the Predators have been there a long time when they had that trophy case. Mm-hmm. And in a trophy case, you see a T-Rex head. And, of course, our friends, that we won't talk about from the last week's story, aliens. The head too. So, you see all that stuff in there. Ouch. My knuckles. So you see that they've been coming for a long time. They have an honor system. They, treat their dead with respect. and give him the flintlock pistol, which I forgot the name. I think there was a name on it, and so they leave, and you never see anything again. So that's the end of the story of those creatures, the predators hunting in the city. So what were the other ones doing is a good question, or were they watching the whole, time and just let it unfold?
Mm-hmm.
Or were they
actually pretty cool?
That would have been, maybe it was like a trial. Maybe it was his hunting trial.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I mean, there is an extra storyline there that could have been explored as well. But it was more of, we've chased this creature. We've got him all down. I kicked his ass. I think I've got it beat. Woohoo! And next thing you know, I am screwed. I am so screwed.
And I do like the movies. They all introduce something new that the other ones didn't have. There are certain elements to them that could have worked better. As far as a story, like an interesting story goes, I will admit the first one has every other one beat. The characters, the first one has them beat. The second one is a close second on both of them. And the third one, again, it's what could have been better, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I literally think they were just trying to cram in a kick butt take name movie.
Mm-hmm.
All they were doing with that one. They tried to throw a couple big names in there like Fishburne, Adrian Brody,
Mahershala Ali, what's that guy's name? Danny Trejo.
They're trying to jam all these actors in there, A-list actors, and get them in the movie. But I think literally it was just designed as a slash film.
Yeah,
they weren't really going to.
That's basically what it was.
Yeah, they weren't going to develop it. They weren't going to build it. They just wanted to throw something out there, and boom. That's why I'm geared more towards the first two movies. Again, the first one, we don't know what's there until the very end. The second one, we know what's there, but the people don't. And I actually, in the case we were talking earlier, I think it would be a tie. I mean, really, I like both movies equally well. There's some really great action scenes, though, in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
There's some pretty badass stuff going on. The second one is more suspenseful. And then when the action shows, it's not so much a gang thing. It's more, quick, subtle, take out the beginning of the movie. They're gone. Zap. The Voodoo King, gone. Zap. We're taking out little pieces of the puzzle all the way through the whole story until Danny Glover finally figures out, oh, crap, I'm dealing with an alien. Now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So, equally, very well storied. Very well done on both. You're looking more for some more, background into Glover's characters in the second movie.
I want you to tell me your thoughts about the subway. What did you think about the subway train scene?
At the very end, or like the whole thing?
Like the subway train, where it was like the most controversial scene. It was like the best scene, but it was kind of the worst scene because of the lights and power was flashing and the predators on there just wiping people out left and right, but you couldn't see anything because of the lights.
Nope, you couldn't see a squat. And even when he gets back there and finally gets to the spot, the girl is like dead meat. She's about to bite it. And you're like, all right, she is a what? They spared her? What's going on with that? And then of course the old, detective dude shows up. Jerry shows up, and unfortunately, Jerry doesn't make it. But the part with him, though, that part at the very end of that train scene, the predator's got him, and Glover runs up on and sees the predator look at him, and then rip his skull out and his spine out, and throw his body on the ground. That was cool. That was that made the whole train scene like, woo! There is something serious going on now.
And this goes back to what I was saying about the characters fleshing them out. Leona was like pregnant, but because the movie literally takes place over a couple of weeks, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like the movie takes place over like maybe 2 or 3
days.
But it actually takes place over a couple of weeks. And Leona was pregnant. There's nothing in the movie that supports it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think her and Lambert were getting all cozy there. I think it was his kid. And
that's what I'm saying.
He didn't say anything though.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like the movie doesn't support it.
Yeah.
I wish it had.
Yeah, somewhere in there that was a missing piece, but I don't know if it was trying to give humanity to the predator at the moment, sparing her life and taking the other dude out.
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know. I mean, it's still.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, like the Predator movies are actually decent. They are pretty good.
I liked it.
As far as
the first one, I was like, all right, creeped out. Second one, I was like, I know what to expect. I'm expecting this Predator from the first movie, but the whole different scenario, totally different game set. You still have.
Oh man, timer.
There's that timer going off. There's so much more we could talk about this, but they're good movies. They're fun, entertaining. First two movies are great. Third one's kind of, I don't know about that.
It's kind of a time waster.
Yeah, I just really, I personally watched the movie pieces, parts, and just didn't give it all that much. I mean, if you want a slasher movie, fine, knock yourself out. But if you want something that's a little more worthwhile, then watch Predator 1, Predator 2, and just stop. You'll be happy with those two movies and just leave it be.
Well, before I close it out, I want to say it was one more thing I liked about Predator 2. And this has to be the most epic moment where the Predator was, all of the movies where the Predator was like, okay, I'm a badass and I'm coming for you. And it was the part where they was in the slaughterhouse and Harrigan had just shot it. So he tried to take his mask off. And then when he took his mask off, he threw him. And then he like smashed his shotgun. Then he got up and started like stalking towards him. And I was like, the way that was shot, it's like, yes, he knows it's about that time. It's about that time because he was coming at him. He was smooth with it too. He was like, "Yeah, you ain't going nowhere now, buddy." But that's before.
Go. Come on.
That's before Gary Busey showed up. But anyways, we go ahead and close this video out. We just got through talking about Predator 1, Predator 2, and Predator 3, or Predators. And anyways, guys, in the comment section below, let us know what y'all think about the movie, the Predator movies. Which one is your favorite? What they could have done better? What was just completely epic? What was completely stupid? And we definitely want to read up in the comments y'all guys be producing for us because we love you guys and we greatly appreciate y'all taking the time out to watch us. Hit that like, subscribe, share button, and a little notification bell thing that they got there that lets you know when we have videos come up. So hit that, guys, and get ready. We're going to come back in a few minutes with the second part of this, where we're going to be talking about the future of the Predator franchise and where the franchise might be going. And I said that all in one breath. But all right, guys. Yeah. We're going to catch you guys in a few minutes. Narik and Ken are signing out.